possible. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So thank you. It kind of sounds like a little bit of a podcast. It's like fasting for EKADASI with Acyuta Gopi. Thank you all for wanting, even having the desire to perform such austerity, for somehow or other coming together to do something wonderful for Krishna. Sometimes we think that I didn't have to leave my house. I didn't have to speak with anybody else. I didn't have to do anything. Is this really performing something wonderful for Krishna? And the answer is yes. In Krishna's own estimation, this is something extraordinary, something wonderful, something incredible, something that Krishna has been waiting for from us for lifetimes, which is just the willingness to put aside everything else and take one day and just focus a little bit more on him. And this is something that benefits not only us, but our separation from Krishna is agonizing for Krishna. We think that we have come to this material world and we are engaging with the material nature and all of the energies that are part of this material world experience, and we think that we are the only ones that are going through something. But Krishna is reciprocal, and Krishna is so reciprocal and so powerfully reciprocal that oftentimes he is going through the same things even before we are. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that ye yata mam prapadyante tam sateva bhajamyaham, as those surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. He's reciprocal, yes, like a mirror. But now we have the vision of a mirror who is experiencing everything that we are going through even before we experience it. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says in his commentary to Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 10th canto, in chapter 14, in the praise of Lord Brahma, Lord Brahma is a little baffled. And he says to Krishna that all of the Brajbasis have given you all of themselves. They have given you everything that they have. They've given you their lives, their livelihoods. They've given you their milk products, their food, their houses, their internal energies. They've given you everything of themselves. I don't quite know how you're going to be able to repay them. You are already their son. What more can you give? And Sri Krishna responds to Lord Brahma, saying that somehow or other, Lord Brahma, you have understood that I have given myself to the Brajbasis. And you're thinking that, what more can I give? I have given myself to the Brajbasis preemptively. I have been reciprocating with their love even before they gave it. So our Lord is understanding and so excited about all of the service that we may do, that we are going to do, that we are absolutely assured to do, because he's that merciful. And so this EKADASI has been anticipated by the Supreme Person. And so when Lord Brahma speaks these prayers, Tate Nukampam Shishamikshmano, in the 14th chapter of the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, speaking that a person who goes through this life suffering the effects of karma, going through the material world experience, all the while anticipating the Lord's mercy, waiting on mercy, then that mercy has become their rightful claim. That determination and that patience endears one to Lord Krishna, and then mercy and blessings become their rightful claim. But this is because Sri Krishna is already anticipating all of our service. Sri Krishna, every single lifetime, is anticipating that maybe this will be the life where my dear, dear spirit soul will finally turn their face back toward me. And as early as the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam in chapter 28, Srila Prabhupada, through Narada Muni, gives a very instructional lesson about how a spirit soul has come to this place through our desires to be the boss, through our desires to lord it over everything, everyone, everywhere. And then we find ourselves in a bit of a miserable condition, as we can all relate to. Somehow in this material world experience, there has been some misery. There's not anybody who can say that they haven't experienced any misery whatsoever, even if it is just so far as a cold, a virus, a stomach flu. Nothing will be the great equalizer and helping us to understand that we are not in control of our lives like a stomach flu. The moment we get a stomach flu and we are unable to control even the functions of our body, we start to understand I am not the boss. I am not in control of anything because I am now at the mercy of my bathroom. So we can kind of understand that we've entered into a miserable situation. And once we get over that miserable situation, we tend to ease the situation in our minds. We tend to smooth it over. It wasn't that bad. Could have been worse. But we all have some experience with a miserable condition, and the Lord in the heart speaks to a devoted soul within that 4th canto and says, don't you remember? You had a very dear friend and you consulted me many times. Somehow or other, you have not consulted me for a very long time. But we are like two swans that reside in the heart, which is like a lake. And just as we are like two swans residing in the heart, which is like a lake, I have been with you through many, many lifetimes, even though we are very far from our original home. And so we understand that the Lord has never left us. The Lord has never abandoned us. And the Lord has waited lifetimes for us to simply remember our eternal relationship with Him. And we think if we had to simply have that kind of faith for one thing that we have asked for from the Lord, after a week, we get tired. After a month, we start to lose hope. After a year, we think, okay, I better give up on this plan and try to adopt another, because the Lord simply is not approving of this plan and the Lord is not showing up. Now, for lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes, the Lord is waiting for us. Maybe this is the lifetime when my dear spirit soul will remember, I am your friend and your well-wisher. Maybe now my friend will remember me. And this is actually painful for the Lord. Just as we experience pain when we feel as though we've been praying to the Lord for something and all we're met with is silence, the Lord experiences that pain 1,000,000 times over with our forgetfulness. Simply that we cannot remember Him. And not that we cannot remember Him, but that we cannot remember Him when we refuse to try. Because we are so caught up with trying to rule over everything as we know it and see it. And so sometimes the Lord gets very, very impatient and He makes arrangements for all of us to come to situations like these, where we are now all gathered together, somehow or other, even using the power of the internet, coming together on an auspicious day like EKADASI, a day where in each and every EKADASI glory, the Lord is expressing just how powerful this day is. And not as a way to inspire us through fear to follow EKADASI, but as a way to express, you have no idea what I've done for you. I have made arrangements for you to come to this very moment, to have the opportunity to fast on an EKADASI which will eradicate all of your sinful activities, which will take away all of your misery. I have personally arranged this. I have moved heaven and earth and rearranged the workings of the universe and given you a situation like this. Just hoping against hope that maybe this will be the catalyst for you to remember me, for you to remember what we were to one another, for you to remember our eternal relationship, our friendship. You are my dearmost. And nothing will ever change that. And somehow or other, I've simply been trying to find ways to remind you of how dear you are to me. And so the gravity of EKADASI is that the Lord is trying to remind us, look at what I'm doing. Do you see what I've done? And not in anticipation that you will fail, but in anticipation that you will absolutely succeed. In anticipation that this will be the thing that brings you back to me. And so we have an incredible friend in Krishna. We have an incredible opportunity. And Krishna is giving us opportunity after opportunity, just hoping against hope. Maybe now, my friend will simply let go of all the other distractions, let go of all the other doubts, and simply rest in the knowledge that I am there for my friends, that there cannot be any defeat for you. So let's hear the glories of Indira EKADASI. Yudhishthir Maharaj said, O Madhusudan, O killer of the Madhu demon, what is the name of the EKADASI that occurs during the dark fortnight, Krishna Paksh, of the month of Ashwin, September-October? Please describe its glories to me. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, then replied, this holy day is called Indira EKADASI. If a person fasts on this day, all his sins are eradicated, and his forefathers who have fallen into hell are liberated. O best of kings, one who simply hears about this sacred EKADASI achieves the great merit earned by performing a horse sacrifice. In the Satya Yuga, there lived a king named Indrasena, who was so powerful that he destroyed all his enemies. His kingdom was called Mahishmatipuri. The glorious and highly religious king Indrasena took good care of his subjects, and therefore he was rich in gold, grains, sons and grandsons. He was greatly devoted to Lord Sri Vishnu as well. He especially enjoyed chanting my name, calling out Govinda, Govinda. In this way, King Indrasena systematically dedicated himself to pure spiritual life and spent much time meditating on the absolute truth. One day, as King Indrasena happily and peacefully presided over his assembly, the perfect orator, Sri Narada Muni, was seen descending, white as a conch, shining like the moon, like a jasmine flower, like a lightning bolt. Narada Muni descended from the sky. He is decorated with matted locks of reddish hair. The king offered Devarishi Narada, this saint among the Devas, demigods, great respect by greeting him with joined palms, inviting him into the palace, offering him a comfortable seat, washing his feet, and speaking sweet words of welcome. Then Narada Muni said to Maharaj Indrasena, O king, are the 7 limbs of your kingdom prospering? The 7 limbs of a king's domain being the king's well-being himself, his ministers, his treasury, his military forces, his allies, his brahmanas, the sacrifices performed in his kingdom, and the needs of the king's subjects. Is your mind absorbed in thinking of how you can properly perform your occupational duty? Are you becoming more and more devoted and dedicated to the service of the Supreme Lord Sri Vishnu? The king replied, By your grace, O greatest of sages, everything is quite well. Today, just by your presence, all the sacrifices in my kingdom are successful. Please show me mercy and explain the reason for your kind visit here. Sri Narada, the sage among the Devas, then said, O lion among kings, listen to my astonishing words. When I descended from Brahmaloka to Yamaloka, Lord Yamaraj praised me very graciously and offered me an excellent seat. As I glorified his truthfulness and wonderful service to the Supreme Lord, I noticed your father in Yamaraj's assembly. Though he had been very religious because he broke an EKADASI fast prematurely, he had to go to the Yamaloka. Your father gave me a message for you. He said, In Mahishmati lives a king named Indrasena. Please tell him about my situation here, that because of my past sinful deeds, I have somehow been forced to reside in Yamaraj's kingdom. Please give him this message from me. O son, kindly observe the coming Indira Ekadashi and give much in charity so that I can go upward to heaven. Philosophically, we can understand that every living entity is an individual. And individually, everyone has to practice Krishna consciousness to traverse back home, back to Godhead. As stated in the Garuda Purana, someone who is suffering in hell cannot practice Krishna consciousness because this requires some mental peace, which the reactionary tortures of hell make impossible. If a relative of a sinner suffering in hell gives some charity in the name of the sinner, he can leave hell and enter the heavenly planets. But if the sinner's relative observes this Ekadashi fast for the suffering kinsman, the kinsman goes directly to the spiritual world, as stated in this narration based on Brahma Vaivarta Purana. Narada continued, Just to deliver this message, O king, have I come to you. You should help your father by observing the fast of Indira Ekadashi. By the merit you gain, your father will go to heaven. King Indrasena asked, O great Naraji, please be merciful and tell me specifically how to observe a fast on Indira Ekadashi, and also tell me during what month and on what day it occurs. Narada Muni replied, O king, please listen as I describe to you the full process of observing the Indira Ekadashi. 1. This Ekadashi occurs during the dark fortnight of the month of Ashwin. 2. On the Dashami Tithi, the day before Ekadashi, rise early in the morning, take bath, and then do some service for God with full faith. 3. At noon, bathe again in running water, and then offer oblations to your forefathers with faith and devotion. 4. Be sure not to eat more than once on this day, and at night sleep on the floor. 5. When you awaken on Ekadashi morning, cleanse your mouth and teeth thoroughly, and then with deep devotion for the Lord, take this sacred vow. Today, I shall fast completely and give up all kinds of sense enjoyment. O lotus-eyed Supreme Personality of Godhead, O infallible one, please give me shelter at your lotus feet. 6. At noon, stand before the sacred form of the Sri Shalagram Shila and worship him faithfully, following all the rules and regulations. Then offer oblations of ghee into the sacred fire and tarpan directed to help your forefathers. 7. Next, feed qualified Brahmins and offer them some charity according to your means. 8. Now take the food pindas you offered to your forefathers, smell it, and then offer it to a cow. Next, worship Lord Rishikesh with incense and flowers, and finally, remain awake all night near the deity of Lord Sri Keshava. 9. Early in the morning of the next day, Dwadashi Tithi, worship Sri Hari with great devotion, and invite Brahmin devotees to a sumptuous feast. 10. Then feed your relatives, and finally take your meal in silence. O king, if you strictly observe a fast on Indira Ekadashi in this way, with controlled senses, your father will surely be elevated to the abode of Lord Vishnu. After saying this, Devarishi Narad immediately disappeared from the scene to bless someone else with his presence. King Indrasena followed the great saint's instructions perfectly, observing the fast in the association of his relatives and servants. As he broke his fast on the Dwadashi Tithi, flowers fell from the sky. The merit that Indrasena Maharaj earned by observing this fast released his father from the kingdom of Yamaraj and caused him to attain a completely spiritual body. Indeed, Indrasena saw him rising to the abode of Lord Hari on the back of a Garuda Vahan. Indrasena himself was able to rule his kingdom without any obstacles. And in time, when he handed over the kingdom to his son, he also went to the spiritual realm of Vaikuntha. O Yudhishthir, these are the glories of the Indira EKADASI, which occurs during the dark fortnight of the month of Ashwin. Whoever hears or reads this narration certainly enjoys life in this world, is freed of all reactions to his past sins, and at the time of death returns home back to Godhead, where he lives eternally. Thus ends the narration of the glories of Ashwin Krishna Ekadashi, or Indira Ekadashi, taken from the Brahma Vaivarta Purana. So, according to the words of Sri Krishna, whoever hears or reads this narration certainly enjoys life in this world, is freed of all reactions to his past sins, and at the time of death returns home back to Godhead, where he lives eternally. Sometimes we wind up thinking, can it be this easy? And the answer is yes, if we have faith in the words of Sri Krishna. If we have faith that it will work, then it will work. And if we have some doubt that it will not work, then it won't work. Because Sri Krishna is reciprocal, and he is always upholding the beliefs and promises of his dear devotees. So we see, according to the promise of Sri Narada Muni to Maharaj Indrasena, he promises that if you simply follow this fast as outlined by me, then your forefather will be released from Yamaraja's kingdom, and he will go back home, back to Godhead. And so the Lord has to uphold that promise. And then the Lord promises himself that even just by hearing or reading this narration, one can go back home, back to Godhead. However, if we are harboring doubts, that then also becomes like a promise that the Lord has to uphold. And so sometimes, if we think, well, I was doing all of this, I was reading this, I was hearing this, I was following EKADASI, and somehow my life is not working out the way I thought it would. But were we also harboring some doubts? Because if we think, well, I had some doubt, and that was what came true, well, of course it did. The Lord is always fulfilling our desires, even if those desires are doubtful. And so we have to be very, very careful to uphold the positive promises that the Lord has given us. We have to have firm faith in the love that the Lord has for us. So there's a question. Can we give our merits to more than one person, maybe two or more? Yes. There are no limits to how many people the Lord can bless through the goodwill of the Vaishnavas. As we see, Narada Muni goes and blesses Maharaj Indrasena, and then he leaves to go and bless somebody else with his simple presence. Simply with his presence. Why simply with his presence? Because Narada Muni does not give blessings the way normal people give blessings. Somebody says, maybe Ayushman Bhava, may you live long, may you have faith, may you have fame, may you have all of these things. Narada Muni gives blessings by reciting Krishna Katha. That is the blessing of Narada Muni. He gives Krishna Katha wherever he goes. And so he blesses people unlimitedly, because Krishna Katha is non-different than Shri Krishna, and Krishna is unlimited. And so Ekadashi Devi is empowered with all of the potency of Shri Krishna. She has arisen from the body of Shri Krishna himself. And so she is equally as powerful as Shri Krishna. And so she has the power to unlimitedly bless an unlimited amount of people. Unlimitedly. And she also has the power to bless them in exactly the way that they need. So our question, can we offer these merits unlimitedly? Yes. And one really cool and interesting secret is that the more people we bless, the more blessings the Lord gives to us. It's like a boomerang. And the Lord becomes so indebted, so grateful. Isn't it? The end of Srimad Bhagavad Gita is that the Lord says that there is no one more dear to me than one who preaches my glories, than one who recites this Bhagavad Gita, than one who tells others about my mercy. The Lord becomes so indebted. He says, I have to give you unlimited blessings, untold blessings. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes even more indebted to one who helps him in his Sankirtan mission. For one who preaches the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the fortune of their life is untold and is unknown even by great souls like Bali Maharaj, who was given his own planet and realm by Vamandev, by Dhruva Maharaj, who was given his own planet by Lord Vishnu, by Sudama, who was given untold amounts of wealth by Lord Krishna himself. None of them can calculate the good fortune of one who assists Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his mission to uplift the fallen souls of Kali Yuga. He was so worried about all of the fallen souls of Kali Yuga that he is always in anxiety, Srila Prabhupada writes, thinking, how will I deliver these fallen souls? So somehow or other, Srila Prabhupada has made a situation where we don't even have to leave our homes to help the Sankirtan mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We can gather together on our couches in the comfort of wherever we are, in the presence of pictures of deities, in the presence of Tulsi Maharani or pictures of Tulsi Maharani, in the presence of the Supreme Lord himself, because the moment we are speaking Krishna Katha, Krishna must be present there. Do we believe? Because if we believe, then Krishna has to uphold our promise. But if we don't, then Krishna remains hidden, also upholding that promise. Well, you had doubts. How can I reveal myself if you have all of these doubts? I have to remain hidden. Doesn't mean he's not present, simply that he remains hidden. So, yes, I urge us, chant more, read more, hear more. And if we think, well, there's nobody in my house, there's always somebody in your house. Moving or non-moving living entities are always there. When Hiranyakashipu is asking Shri Prahlad, where is your God? Prahlad Maharaj is responding that he is everywhere. He is within every atom. There is not one atom of this creation that does not have a Paramatma. And so the Lord is everywhere. And so even if you think you are reciting and chanting to the four walls, there are living entities that are hearing, microorganisms. So I urge you, hear more, read more, chant more, and in this way, you are performing devotional service. And so when they are describing the many ways that you can follow this EKADASI, Srila Prabhupada has really condensed and simplified everything. Simply fast from grains and beans, and try and dedicate as many moments in your day as possible to doing some kind of devotional service. You can stand before the form of Sri Shalagram Shila. The Bhakti Center will give us darshan of Sri Shalagram Shila soon. And if you don't have a Shalagram Shila in your home, that's fine. You can pull up the videos from the Bhakti Center. You can pull up photos from the Bhakti Center. You can stand before that Shalagram Shila and offer your loving devotion. Chant simply one round before this Shalagram Shila. So whether you find yourself at work, whether you find yourself at home, whether you find yourself out in the street, you can find some time. You can find 7 minutes to chant one round of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. You can listen to Kirtan and chant along. As a person who used to have a job that was in a cubicle in an office, I played Kirtans all the time. I would find time to chant in between meeting with people. If we have the desire, Krishna will never leave us alone. If somehow we have the desire to become obsessed with Krishna, Krishna as our dearmost reciprocal Lord has already been having that desire to somehow or other become obsessed also with us. In fact, Krishna was already obsessed with us. And so the moment that we desire to somehow or other leave this spiritual abode in some way, shape, or form, the Lord says, well, then I will never leave you. I will always be present within your heart. I will never leave you alone on this sojourn. Not until the moment you come back home to me, I will never leave you alone. Sometimes I'll remain hidden due to trying to follow your desires, but I will never leave you alone. our dear friend is saying, I never find myself at work. That's the first place I look, which is something, isn't it? But somehow or other, we can figure out a way. We can get creative. We know how to get creative when it's something that we want. Now the question is, do we want Krishna? Do we desire to simply give this one life to Krishna? I had a realization recently that I thought about how much of a dedicated friend I am, how much of a loyal friend I am, how much of an empathetic friend I am, how much I really feel and sympathize with the feelings of others. I thought about how much I like to cook for my friends and serve my friends and be a friend and love my friends, and I love very hard. And then I realized that that is only a fraction of the potential that I have to love Krishna. And so I say to all of you, if you think about the best qualities of yourself, you might be determined. You might be very patient. You might be an incredibly hard worker, down to being a workaholic. You might be able to put in 14 to 16 hours a day at a job. You might be able to somehow withstand incredible things. You might be a person who is able to fast a lot. You might be a person that really falls in love with all of yourself. And I say to you, that is only a fraction of the potential that you have to love Krishna. Just as Krishna, we see all of the beautiful things in this world, and that's only a fraction of how beautiful Krishna is. All of the best things within us are only a fraction of the very potential that we have to serve Krishna. And Krishna is just waiting for us to fulfill that potential to its fullest extent. You are already a devotee. You are already a great lover of Krishna. Now we just have to recover that potential. Clear away the distractions and open ourselves up to, without doubt, receiving Krishna's mercy. Because it's already there. Krishna has already given it in anticipation of the great service that we'll do. Because Krishna has faith, you will do amazing service. I know it. You know why? You're already my devotee. Shri Krishna says in chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita, once you know the truth, then you'll understand that all beings are in me. They belong to me. They are of me and they are mine. You already belong to Krishna. You came to this place belonging to Krishna. So it's not like we have to become worthy of Krishna. You already belong to Krishna. We have to clear away everything else that has told us for lifetimes, conditioned us for lifetimes within toxic patterns that remind us or try to tell us and steal our good intelligence, telling us, why would Krishna want to associate with you? Why would you want to associate with Krishna? Don't you want to be the boss, spirit soul? Don't you want to rule over everything? Don't you want to be worshipped? Look at how much fun Krishna's having. Why should Krishna have all the fun? Don't you think you should also have a little fun? But, my dear friends, and my dearest spirit souls who belong to Shri Krishna, the real fun is in reclaiming our original identity. The real fun is in going on adventures with Krishna. The real fun is in seeing what amazing thing Krishna will do today. Because the rest sets us up for insecurity. And we've seen it practically. We've been seeing it for lifetimes. All this has done is create immense insecurity. Why don't we try the other way? I already belong to Krishna. Now I'm simply remembering our relationship. I've been away from my original home with Krishna for so long. I don't quite remember the sights and the sounds and the smells and the feel of home. But there are those that are willing to remember me, to remind me. There are those that are willing to remind me, don't you remember? Don't you remember who you were? Don't you remember what amazing potential you have for serving Krishna? And there is an unlimited amount of service to perform. Krishna has an unlimited potential to have unlimitedly individualistic, personalized relationships with each one of us. So it's not that Krishna loves Srimati Radharani and the rest of us all lose out. Shri Krishna loves Srimati Radharani and all of the rest of us also win. Because Krishna is looking to give his mercy. Because Srimati Radharani is ordering him, please, you have to give your mercy to everyone, qualified or unqualified. Srimati Radharani understands that the love of Shri Krishna is so incredibly wonderful. Like condensed nectar in her life, that all she wants is that everyone should experience it. So now, what if we stopped listening to the insecurities as an experiment, maybe just for today, and we remembered that we all have an unlimited potential for loving and serving Krishna. And you've already embarked on the path. So congratulations. I congratulate you all for arriving here on this day, due to the personal arrangement of our dearest, dearest friend. May we never forget this path. May we never forget the untold gifts that Srila Prabhupada has given us. And may we never forget this Vaishnav association, which forever enriches our lives. All glories to all of you. And all glories to this wonderful Ekadashi day, which has the power to make all of our dreams come true, if we can just believe in it. Shri Ekadashi Devi ki jai. Shri Radha Murlidhara ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Acyuta Gopi Devidasi ki jai. Wonderful presentation as always, Acyuta Gopi. Thank you. Would anyone like to ask a question or share an insecurity so Acyuta Gopi can deal with it? Anybody? Temple room. Oh, Sadhvi Didi has her hand up. Sadhvi Didi followed by the temple room. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Thank you very much for today. Um, I have always had somewhat worry when it comes to Ekadashi. I do fast. I did even without water and everything. But when I read the story in Ekadashi, then I got worried. Then I get worried every time. Every time, then I get worried. Why? Because there are certain steps you have to take for Ekadashi. One of them being that you shouldn't sleep all the night. The whole night you have to sleep. And that's something is almost impossible. Why? Because in my age, I fall asleep. I can't help it because I have so many situations in my body that it's possible for me to be awake all the whole night. You know what I mean? So what I'm thinking, does that mean that fasting is not acceptable or is not complete? Because you're talking about the Arjuna's father, the grandfather, right? He was Arjuna's grandfather was in the Yamuraj place, right? So it makes me worry. He was a very, very pious man and did everything right. Only this one Ekadashi, then he got to be where Ram Yamaraj is. And in my understanding, Ram Yamaraj today is very, very, very painful to me. There are so many situations happening there. So, how to think about it, how to deal with it. I have very much difficulty with that.
So Sadhvi Didi had two questions, just to clarify. One of them is about the different rules of following this Ekadashi, especially when she hears about staying up all night. Because she was saying that at her age, it is very difficult to just kind of fall asleep. It's not even in her control anymore. And the other is, there is a little bit of an insecurity because it seems as though one slight misstep can lead us into a path of ruination. As we see, the father of Maharaj Indrasena was in the assembly of Yamaraj, and he was saying that he had followed EKADASI, but he simply broke it at the wrong time. He completed his fast at the wrong time, and this put him into a situation where now he's in the court of Yamaraj. And so she's thinking, like, if this can happen, this one small infraction can happen millenniums ago, what hope is there for all of us? Because we are committing these small infractions every Ekadashi, pretty much, basically, practically, yes? So where is our hope? Where is our light at the end of the tunnel? And we see in the story of Maharaj Nanda in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that Nanda Maharaj gets swallowed by this big snake, yes? And Krishna has to save him. And this was after an Ekadashi. And this was because Nanda Maharaj was involved in breaking an Ekadashi at just a difficult time, and then it was a little bit before when it should have been the ending time, and then Krishna has to go and save him. And then we see in this case that Narada Muni goes and he speaks to Maharaj Indrasena, and then Indrasena is fasting on Ekadashi, and then Indrasena is saving his father. We should not stop at the difficulty, right? We've stopped listening at the difficult part. And the difficult part is there for the purpose of the Leela. We are forgetting the end of the story. Krishna personally saved his father. He did not let him be in that situation for very long. And Maharaj Indrasena was given the Ekadashi to fast on, and then he fasts and saves his father. His father was not in that situation for very long. And his father was not suffering in the hellish planets. He was in the assembly of Yamaraj, which sometimes we might wonder, then why was it so difficult if he was in the assembly of Yamaraj? Well, because you can still hear the torture happening in the adjoining chambers. And so that can create a situation of anxiety. And you still know where you are. You're within the court of Yamaraj. So, we, in our own lives, we will come into difficult situations. The key is don't stop reading your own Bhagavatam story. We get caught up in the difficult situation. Oh no, I'm in a difficult situation. I must have done the most horrible things. Woe is me, I'm done. Don't stop reading, because the very next paragraph is where Krishna comes and saves us. So, Sadhvi Didi, don't worry. You try your best. You put on narrations of Krishna book. And if you fall asleep, technically, you're still awake because Krishna book is happening. So somehow or other, you're still hearing. Your subtle body is still hearing. You're still awake. It's fine. Just keep hearing and chanting. And so on the nights of Ekadashi, put on Krishna book and just let yourself relax into that. Let the narrations of Srimad Bhagavatam carry you through. Krishna absolutely will save you. He has to. Because in Bhagavad Gita, he says, in this endeavor, there's no loss, no diminution. Right? Your pious merits from following Krishna consciousness cannot be diminished, and you cannot fail. That is Krishna's promise. And when we think about one small infraction, what do we do? This is for those who work on the level of karmakanda, simply accruing pious merits. But for Vaishnavas, that does not mean the same thing. For Vaishnavas, Krishna says, I personally carry what you lack and preserve what you have, like a groom carrying a bride over the threshold, like a lover picking up the beloved and carrying their beloved across. Krishna says, in this way, that is how I carry my devotees. I must. So Srila Prabhupada always encouraged us simply to try our best. As far as you are able, you simply try your best and fill your house, your heart, your mind with Krishna Katha. And watch how Krishna handles everything else. He will make the best arrangement for you. Don't worry so much. But as much anxiety as you have, it shows Krishna that you care. So all glories to your anxieties.
God. Shishirada Murli Darki. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can obtain pure devotional service. I bow down to his lotus feet with awe and reverence. By his great love for our notion of material suffering, we have obtained the mercy of Krishna. Consciousness is purified by the words emanating from his lotus tongue. Attachment to the lotus feet is perfection and fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From an ecstatic and by the scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor, and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us, and give us the shade of your lotus feet. May your fame be spread all over the three worlds. Please take shelter of your lotus feet.
Lotus feet. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Jai Nitai Prabhu, Jagannath Priya Prabhu, for facilitating the darshan so wonderfully.
You asked for darshan of shalagrams. There you go.
Jai. Krishna solved all my problems during that darshan that Jai Nitai Prabhu facilitated. I'll create more problems instantly, but for now, looks like they're all solved. There's a question in the chat from Mike Prabhu. Do you get insecure before you sing? How do you handle it, Acyuta Gopi? And how do you feel when you get up on that stage? How do you feel? Do you feel insignificant or significant? Do you feel Srila Prabhupada is there with you, or you're just by yourself? How does that feel for you, Acyuta Gopi?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. My original answer for do you get insecure before you sing, how do you handle it was, why are you asking? From one kirtaniya to another, yes, that's a very different answer, and there's a different reason for asking. But I really I want to get in depth with each other, and so if I could have a little clarification on the kind of answer that you'd like to know from
The question is from Mike, and I had just a quick follow-up. I'm just curious, how do you feel that Srila Prabhupada is with you on that stage? Do you feel that you are representing the parampara, or you feel small and insecure and lonely and scared to see this crowd?
oh especially on a stage, I don't actually feel lonely because I've usually brought at least 12 of my family and friends, and my Lord Nityananda is on every single stage. So it's impossible to feel lonely when I look back and I look at the face of my Lord Nityananda, and with him there, I'm like, it's okay. I can fall back on. I just stand behind Nitai. Nitai is really doing the whole thing. It's his show. I am just the opening act, really. Um, and uh, and I often do give a report to Srila Prabhupada before and after. So many times I am really trying to bring in the presence of Srila Prabhupada, because for me, it's not, you ever want to run to your grandparents and tell them that something that they've worked so hard for is working? If anybody has had grandparents that have been through a lot, or parents that have been through a lot, or have worked so hard or sacrificed so much just for the children to somehow or other make a better life, our grandfather has sacrificed so much. My spiritual grandfather sacrificed so much, immigrating, coming, heart attacks, and health issues, just to somehow or other make a way for me, to make sure that I would have a better life, and a better material life, a better Krishna conscious life, one that goes far beyond just this one lifetime. And so I'm often trying to pray to Srila Prabhupada and invoke his presence, if for nothing else but to say, Grandpa, look, it's working. Just because of you, look, it's working. What you've gone through has not gone in vain. And a few years ago in Vrindavan, had found myself in a place where I was kind of questioning, why go through so many trials and tribulations and troubles and obstacles? I could happily chant in my room and just take care of my own spiritual welfare. And then I found myself in Vrindavan making a promise to Srila Prabhupada in Srila Prabhupada house, saying the words, but in gratitude to my grandfather, I promise that I won't ever stop trying. And of course, now I'm also there thinking, what am I doing? Like 5 minutes ago, I was really done with this whole thing. And now I find myself making this promise to Srila Prabhupada, I won't give up. And so now I find myself in many situations just trying to remember and honor that promise. Srila Prabhupada, thanks to you, I won't give up. And so me on stage is hardly about me. It's usually about, wow, Nitai, look what you've done. Wow, Srila Prabhupada, look what you've done. And so then that helps me to remember that I just need to go out and do my job. I go and I do my service, and the rest is not up to me at all. whatever happens is Nitai's arrangement, is Srila Prabhupada's arrangement, is the arrangement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that helps. It helps before, it helps during, it helps after.
Thank you, Acyuta Gopi. You described it so wonderfully. Acyuta Gopi Devi is a unique devotee. She has this devotion and softness of heart and sweetness, and she has the backbone. That's a great combination. Thank you, Acyuta Gopi. Adipusha Prabhu, you wanted to ask a question or share an insecurity? Do you have any insecurities left?
That's all I have. Ram is here. Hi, Ram. He can hear. Yes, we hear you. Hare Krishna. You know, our normal situation is that we're loving beings. Our normal situation is devotional service. It's not hard to add it on like a coat of paint. And Prabhupada said, if you love me, do what I ask you to do. And he said that the only way to thank me is to give what I've given to you to somebody else. So we feel this, she expressed it perfectly. We feel the gratitude. We want to express that gratitude. And Krishna is most pleased when we give Krishna consciousness to somebody else. To the best of our ability, whatever we can do. Prabhupada's grace is there. It's giving us intelligence. And by hearing, we get faith. That was a very interesting thing that Mataji said today about how if we have doubt, then Krishna can't really reveal himself. You have confidence that this works and it's real and it's true. Oh, glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Adipusha Prabhu. You sounded so softly. Is that a mode of goodness? Is that how mode of goodness sound? Shuddha Sattva. Okay. I'd like, before we turn the floor over to Min, we'd like to acknowledge Mathurnath Prabhu. I was just thinking of you, Prabhu. We were missing your association, and here you are.
Hey, well,
Thank you, thank you. Okay, Min,
nice to be here, y'all.
your question, please. So, Mathurnath Prabhu, we'll get to you. Hang on.
Thank you so much for class. Something you said that affirmed something that I experienced last week. I haven't been able to read the Srimad Bhagavatam for a week or something. Just have too much going on, and it's kind of rare that way. And without really knowing, it took me a little bit to realize maybe it's because I was feeling like I didn't have Krishna in my life. It just felt like it was a little bit empty, and then it occurred to me maybe it's me not reading the Bhagavatam. And anyway, I woke up from a dream and I heard something, so I was like, I don't know what that means. Anyway, so it sort of prompted me to just open the Bhagavatam that day. And where I left off, I didn't really, it's been a week, so I wasn't really sure where I was. That very verse I was supposed to start, like rushed in, like, oh my God, here's Krishna. So what you said about don't give up, don't give up reading the Bhagavatam Krishna book. He's in the next chapter. It was really amazing. And reading that particular verse, Krishna sent me off to the first canto, to 11th canto, and then to Chaitanya Charitamrita, back to Venu Gita in 10th chapter. It just was really, really wild. You just share that when you're in Vrindavan, you told you spoke to yourself like, why don't I just, focus on my spiritual life and not deal with this, difficulties. But you had an inspiration to recommit. Where does that come from? Like, how do I ask for that? Because when I'm sort of away from Krishna, it seems like I can't even remember to ask the question to help me to recommit myself. Yeah, if you could speak a little bit about that.
I wish that I could say that there was some like altruistic idea that came in and a beam of light shone down and I was there and all of us, but no, really. Maybe 5 minutes before, I was really thinking, I don't need to do anything public anymore. I can just chant Hare Krishna in my room and read Bhagavatam in my room. I'd be fine. And then what happened was I was leading kirtan for Srila Prabhupada. And I began speaking about Srila Prabhupada and the power of Vrindavandam. That was not at all me. I really, honestly, truly just found myself in a situation verbally promising Srila Prabhupada that I would never give up and that none of us should ever give up giving this Krishna consciousness to others. And not as a gimmick, not as a, okay, we would like to simply get a devotee in the door and then we make a devotee and then we move on to making the next devotee. We can recommit ourselves all the time to giving Krishna consciousness in a way where we're actually deeply caring for people. And so sometimes that means just focusing on one person at a time. Sometimes that doesn't have to mean that us giving Krishna consciousness to others is millions of people all at once. It's being kind to your friends. It's being compassionate to those who are around you. It's simply reading one more verse and then sharing that verse with somebody else. Even if it's in a way of saying, you know, I was reading this and I felt confused. What do you think? Because that discussing Krishna with each other creates magic. It creates the supreme atmosphere for Krishna's miracles to come in. Because now all you're doing is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. My devotees perform devotional service, delighting in coming together and conversing about me. And in this way, I'm giving my mercy to all of them. And so sometimes we tend to overcomplicate seva. We can really overcomplicate things. Oh no, but I just did XYZ. But we don't have to overcomplicate it. Krishna is all about being simple. And Srila Prabhupada would always say that Krishna consciousness is simple for the simple. And so if we become simple-hearted and simple-minded, it is as simple as Ajamil named his son Narayana. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and other commentators and our acharyas say that there were 4 Vishnu Dutas that appeared for Ajamil, because there was one for every syllable of Narayana. So the more he's calling out Narayana, there's now these 4 Vishnu Dutas. It's that simple. And then we think, is it really that simple? Yes. But if it's that simple, then everybody can do it. Yes. But if it's that simple and everybody can do it, then everybody will get Krishna's mercy. Yes. Well, then what will be left for me? Krishna's mercy. Because the amazing thing about Krishna's mercy is 1 + 1 = 1,000,000. And 1 - 1 = 2,000,000. Krishna's mercy, you can never subtract from it. And the more that you give, the more that there is. So I feel that sometimes, at least with me, the insecurity used to be, the easier I make it for somebody else, what does that mean for me? And why is it that their Krishna consciousness gets to be so easy while I feel like mine was so hard? That's not true. That's just our insecurities speaking. That's the mind coming in, trying to quantify things. This is stronger than that. This is greater than that. This is less than that. One definition I heard from Maya Devi is the thing that is quantifiable. Apparently all she does is make categories and tries to quantify things. So when we find ourselves trying to quantify Krishna's mercy, we can alert ourselves that we're getting closer and closer to Maya. That's where she finds her in. We are trying to quantify Krishna's mercy. That can't happen because they can't be a better devotee than me. Ooh, don't let it happen to you. Don't let it catch you. Let it be simple. Let it be inconceivable. And so we don't even have to think, how will the service come? Every moment we're asking for service. Every time we're chanting Hare Krishna, we're asking, oh my Lord, oh energy of the Lord, oh Shishirada Krishna, please engage me in your service. And then we watch how Krishna does it, because he will do it. But will we say yes to the service when it comes? Or will we say, I'm too busy? Isn't it? So even if it means having a conversation, asking a question, that is devotional service. Pariprashnena sevaya. This asking questions is a service. And asking with such a devotional heart and such a vulnerable spirit is devotional service. This is the basis and the foundation of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sages got together and were having the courage to be vulnerable about their insecurities. We don't know if our mantras and yagyas will work. Can somebody tell us something? Someone please tell us. We don't even know what we want to focus on. We don't even know if we want to focus on a personalized God or an impersonalized God. Can somebody please give us some answers, because we're feeling vulnerable? What will happen not only to us, but to the souls of Kali Yuga? This is the basis and the foundation of all of Srimad Bhagavatam. This Grantaraj, which is saving our lives, happens because people feel vulnerable enough to simply have conversations, converse with one another, and ask questions. So this now becomes the greatest devotional service that you could do, depending upon Krishna's devotional service. Krishna is giving Arjuna an entire treatise on friendship, on love, on devotional service within Bhagavad Gita. And he says, I am reciprocal. And we hear now that Krishna reciprocates before, preemptively. So now when Krishna is saying twice, just think of me, I like to think it's because the Lord is begging us. I'm already thinking of you, just think of me. And the more that he says something in Bhagavad Gita, the more he's already doing it for us. Become my devotee. Just fix your mind upon me. Surrender to me, because the Lord yearns to surrender to his devotees, because the Lord is controlled by the love of his devotees. So now he's begging us, please become my devotee so that I can be controlled by your love. Whoa. We could spend a lifetime uncovering Bhagavad Gita. And then just telling somebody else. You know, we can always go to our friend and say, I wanted to give up. And then somehow or other, I was inspired to just keep going, just to keep interacting, just to keep reading my own personal Bhagavatam story. And then Krishna saved me. Because your story becomes an example for Krishna's mercy in somebody else's life. Did you know you are the product of Krishna's mercy, men? Did you know that you were brought here to this very moment by Krishna's mercy? You are the recipient of Krishna's mercy. Krishna woke you up from a dream and called you, oh my dear, just read this Bhagavatam, hear from me personally. So, where does that determination come from? You've already experienced it. Did you know that Bhagavatam was speaking to you? Don't doubt it. Don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. Yes, Bhagavatam is speaking to you. And not in a way where we then think, oh, I'm such a great devotee, I don't have to do anything else. But in a way where now Bhagavatam is calling to you again and again and again. Srila Prabhupada says, this Bhagavatam will speak to you. Many of our acharyas and spiritual teachers say this Bhagavatam will speak to you. So, Min, you are actively experiencing. Bhagavatam will speak to you. Did you know that you are the recipient of Krishna's mercy? Krishna is interacting with you. And so how do you get that determination to keep going? Where does it come from? It's already happening. Thank you. If you had not shared that with us today, none of us would have known. And so sometimes you say, when I feel a little far away from Krishna, then I feel this lacking. Yes, and so does Krishna. Krishna feels that lacking too.
Wow, thank you so
Prabhupada
much.
describes it in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, men, keep reading, and thank you.
Thank you so much. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm exactly asking. I just have a feeling, so I bring it up. And you just like uncover so much there. And I literally felt mercy of Krishna. So thank you so much.
I don't know if Harry's muted, but he said Saurabh. Go ahead. I was reading.
Hare Krishna, lots of love.
Sarab, Prabhu, check one, check two. You are muted.
We can hear you, Surah Prabhu.
Hi, Hare Krishna. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Lots of love, devotion, and respects to all of you. Wanted to share a couple of things. Couple of times I heard trying our best, trying our best. So I have a vision board here, and literally speaking, sometimes I'm like, it's so hard things, but I remind myself every day. It says, "Do your very best, and let Krishna take care of the rest." And it says quotes by Sri Acyuta Gopi. So this has been there for a while, and it's just reminding me. So I truly think Krishna is telling me, and the Krishna within all of us, if we really try our best, he's so powerful. Like he knows our intentions. Let go of the rest. And so he has to know our intentions. As long as our intentions are sincere, we have nothing to worry about. And so, but I put things on the board just to remind me because I don't know anything, and simple things like that help. And then in terms of so many things to say, like 5,000 questions, and I'm like, I have 30 seconds. Anyways, I'm an idiot in the sense that I've been hearing about the Krishna book from Sri Acyuta Gopi for so long, and it still hasn't been with me. It finally just arrived, and it's right here. And so I'm an idiot for taking so long, but requesting everyone's blessings. So I look forward to taking advantage of this real wealth. And I'm an idiot for it's like I write down, I wasn't acting on it. So thank you for everyone's blessings. And the third thing quickly, mercy, talking about mercy and Krishna's mercy. Um, my journey with Sri Krishna has been so crazy in terms of I grew up in a household, and I'll make this very quick because I know everyone's time is valuable, but I think it will be helpful for everyone. So that's my intention. I grew up in a household where we wake up, we say Jai Shri Krishna. We go to sleep, we say Jai Shri Krishna. We pick up the phone, say hi to family members, friends, we say Jai Shri Krishna. We go to school, we say Jai Shri Krishna. XYZ every time, like right. And then and I would pray all the time, and I would never ask. I would do my mala, and I would never ask for anything. But one of the biggest things I would always ask for is my dad was the closest thing. He was my superhero, and I would ask for my dad's well-being. I just asked for family members, but my dad was at the top, right? And then all of a sudden, when I was 20 in 2002, he passed away unexpectedly, and I was so mad. I was so mad, and like literally, um, just had no reason to live anymore, right? Because I'm like, I asked you, Krishna, for one thing, and you took it away from me. And so then my mom's really emphatic on still, hey, I say Jai Shri Krishna, and I'm mad. And I'm like, no, I'm not saying Jai Shri Krishna. I'm not saying Jai Shri. And so I stopped, my mom's telling me I stay quiet. I stay quiet. My friend, look, you took away my hero. Like I asked for one thing. And so this is in 2002, and goes on, and the journey goes on, but the Shri Krishna in all of us, he doesn't leave us. Like, and this is like, I feel like this is that friendship relationship I'm realizing after all of this time. like like it's that love that we have that's just everlasting. And even though I was upset at him, he stays, he waits for us. And then the other thing is, I've always I when I would go and pray, it's like I go straight to Sri Krishna, right? Like I fall at his feet, I pray, and then the journey, he's there, and that love and that relationship is there, and it's building, and I'm realizing, and I'm an idiot, so it takes a while for idiots to learn, right? And so, but what I'm saying is that relationship with Sri Krishna in all of us is so strong, and then I would always go directly to Sri Krishna, but I come back, and over the last 2 years or so, it's the association of the Bhagavatam class, and so this association is so powerful. Where yes, Sri Krishna is great, but hey, if you start having love, devotion, and good wishes for all of his devotees, like this is gonna what's the word I'm looking? It's gonna give us a helicopter ride to get to Sri Krishna. And so I don't know. These are my small realizations I wanted to share, that his mercy is so powerful. And I think it all comes down to showing each other love, devotion, and respect, and praying for the devotees. I think that's extremely powerful, and Sri Krishna loves that. And so I'm just kind of trying to articulate that all of our journeys are so unique, but he's there with us all the time. Like do our very best, and he'll take care of the rest. So thank you for the reminder, Sri Gopi, and all of you. And your association is taking me to that next level. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Surya Prabhu. Surya Prabhu gives out lots of love and respect every time he takes the floor, and he never runs out of love and respect. Right, Surya Prabhu? He's getting it from Krishna, from Sri Krishna. Thank you, Surya Prabhu. Thank you, Acyuta Gopi. Mathurnath Prabhu, please unmute yourself and recite the Maha Mantra to complete the offering for today. Mathurnath Prabhu, please.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you very much, Mathurnath. That was very sincere. Thank you, Acyuta Gopi. Thank you, Guru Parampara. Thank you, everyone in this class, for your association.
Please forgive me. There is a question. Please forgive me. There is a question that I am also interested to know. If you read this question,
About business?
to Acyuta, the question is to Acyuta.
Yeah, do you accept disciples, Acyuta Gopi? Do you have Zoom classes?
I used to do more Zoom classes and YouTube ones. Now I'm a little bit short on time because I'm traveling every 10 days. But before I used to, so there are loads of, on my YouTube channel, there are over 60, 70 lectures just on Krishna book. And so then I was doing a podcast called See Through, and I was reading Krishna book and just kind of sharing realizations with others. And so you can always go back and read those. And I'm sure, so sure, because I've also had a desire to restart them, that I'm sure that Krishna will somehow make a way, even through the traveling, etc. But if you catch me in person, I'm always somehow or other talking a lot. I have a big mouth, so.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful Wednesday, dear devotees, and a happy fasting for Krishna. Hare Krishna.